Recently, I've started posting videos online about the things that I have learned in my spiritual practice and the things that I have applied in my life as a spiritual practitioner. Now, doing this was a lot of effort on my part because somewhere I was very, very scared of the limelight. And I was scared of coming in front of people and putting myself out there. And it took me a lot of effort to finally put myself in this situation where I am in front of everybody, open for public scrutiny, and putting my thoughts, the things that I have learned in front of all of you. And this journey has been a beautiful journey, and it is still continuing. I'm not saying that I'm 100% there. It has been a beautiful journey so far, and it has had its great moments as well as the scary moments, which are always there in a spiritual journey. When we start embracing the truth about ourselves, sometimes it can get scary. So, today I would like to share my story and how I came here as a spiritual practitioner myself. What were the struggles, the pains that I faced as a person to reach where I am today? So I'm starting with the time when I had first started reading spiritual books, and this was during my college years when I was doing my MBA. And one of my friends had gifted me the book called Many Lives, Many Masters by Dr. Brian Weiss. When the concept of past life regression first came across my knowledge, and that is when I encountered this word for the first time. That book changed my perspective about life, and just reading that book gave me a lot of perspective about the life that I was leading. When I read that book, that is when I decided that someday I'm going to undergo the regression process myself and explore what my past lives were like. It was something intriguing about this whole subject that kept me hooked to this subject. And then after my college, I just got engrossed in life, and there was a period of struggle which happened with me after my studies got completed. I went into a deep depression from the year 2007 till I think 2015. So 2007 to 2009 were especially difficult because I was in deep, deep depression and I was under a lot of medication and I didn't know what to do. So, although I was not at all aware of meditation or any kind of spiritual practices, but I was really, really depressed. So the period between 2007 and 2009 were when I was completely depressed and I had no way out of this situation. So in 2009, I got married to the love of my life, that is Gaurav. And that is when things started settling down a little bit, and my medication started getting tapered a little bit, and slowly started becoming more controlled because I was happy that I was with him, and that is what started changing things for me. And then eventually, when we started planning for a baby, that is when the depression blew up completely. Because, and this was a knowledge or maybe a feeling that I had all my life that I'm never going to have a child of my own. And I used to share this with Gaurav also while we were dating. And he used to say that, why do you want to think about all that right now? So, when we started planning for a baby, we discovered that there were many congenital defects that were there in my reproductive system, and many diseases that were there in the reproductive system, because of which conceiving naturally would be next to impossible for me. And then we started our journey with IVF treatments, and we went through 3 cycles of IVF, and every time that one cycle would fail, I would go into this bad state of not eating, not sleeping. But the first two cycles, Gaurav helped me come out of it because I had the other cycles to look forward to, and I was hopeful that it would happen. But when my third cycle of IVF failed, that is when the world completely shattered for me. And I was like, yes, now the reality hit me that this is not going to happen anymore. And the third IVF was especially painful for me as far as my body is concerned, because there were a lot of reactions in my body. And the failure of the third IVF brought about bad insomnia for me. I did not sleep for 7 to 8 days straight, because of which I had to, in the end, beg my husband, my husband Gaurav, who's a doctor himself, that you have to give me something to put me to sleep. I have to have some medicines, because otherwise I'm going to go mad. And that is when my sleeping pills started, and I started taking sleeping pills for me to sleep properly, because there was a time when for a week straight I would just keep sitting and not sleep at all. I would sleep maybe for an hour or two and then sit up and just while away the night. And it was very, very scary for me. It was like a dark, dark time that I was going through. And that is when this feeling of getting myself regressed and finding out that why is this happening to me started coming up to my mind again. Because all my life I've always thought that God cannot punish anyone, and God is too kind to do that. Although everyone around me was saying that there's something, some bad karma, some thing that you must have done because of which this is happening. But somewhere I was like, no, God cannot punish me for anything that I've done in my life. So there must be some logical explanation to whatever is happening to me right now. And that is when this zeal to look for the answers started again. And